I remember like it was yesterday when I was like 5 or 6 that I was told that I could never be nothing. I would never be nothing. I would never find a man to love me. I was nothing. I just heard this over and over again. So by the time I was 7 or 8, I was nothing, because that's all I knew, was that I was nothing. Emotional abuse is probably one of the worst, because if someone hits you, that scar will heal within 3-4 days. That black eye will go down. But emotional, it goes with you for a very long time. And no matter how much you've healed, every now and then you tend to have just something triggers, what you've heard for all those years. And even today, sometimes I have to get myself together and say, you're not that person. They're wrong. Keep moving. You've proven them wrong a long time ago. So it was rather easy and normal for me to fall into abuse and accept it and saw it as a way of affection for me. And that's kind of how I ended up in my first marriage. I am now married to a wonderful man now. But my first husband wasn't such a nice man. He beat me at random. There was no rhyme or reason. Just if he woke up and he had nothing else to do, well, it's time. This is what I'm going to do right now. So he would call and say, come home. And if I said, well, I just started this job. And he would say, well, you either come home or I'll come up there and I'll do this and do that and do this. So I would walk off the job. So I lost so many jobs because of that. And when I would get home, I'd be a nervous wreck because I'd be afraid and wondering when he's going to come in and what he's going to do this time. And so many people said, well, how could you stay that long? Why didn't you just leave? It's so easy to say that when you're on the outside looking in, because you don't truly know what's going on the inside. You don't know the level of the depth of fear that one person can have. As far as my children were concerned, they lived basically the same way. At the time, my oldest, he was getting to the age where he wanted to protect me. He just didn't know how. The baby boy, he was confused. He didn't really know what was going on. By the end of that marriage, I probably felt as small could be. I believed that I was nothing. I believed I didn't deserve to be loved. I truly believed that I was unworthy of being loved. But with healing in God, I began to realize that none of that was true and that I didn't deserve anything that I had gone through. It wasn't an overnight process. I divorced my husband in 2000. It was 2012 before I could even hold a relationship, because over those years, I had to learn me again. I had to find out who I was. The thing about loving yourself is if you don't love yourself, it's hard to love somebody else. It's hard. If you have children, concentrate on your children, building that relationship back with your children, because you lose a little of that relationship by allowing them to watch you be abused. And I have so many regrets because I have a son that's incarcerated. They gave him 35 years when he was 21 for killing my sister's abuser. First, I asked him what happened, and then I asked him why. And the answer he gave me brought tears to my eyes. He said, I felt obligated. I wasn't able to save you. That is something for a mother to hear. So, it's just so many things can come out of being in an abusive relationship. Not just everybody suffers. Everybody. Very seldom do you catch young women or women being abused that came from a good, solid, self-assuring background. There has either been prior abuse when they were a child, or they had a combination of things I had. Not only prior abuse, but just someone telling them all their lives, this is what you deserve. If I can save one child, and she become a young woman that knows she does not deserve the abuse, whether it happened when she was 3 or whether it happened when she was 13, that you don't deserve it. I just got my license for my daycare. I'm leaning toward helping CPS with children that's been abused, but they being placed and need daycare providing. So I've just done that. I'm wearing a lot of hats right now. I am. And I'm on the path to getting all the things that I need to get it done. So yeah, I feel pretty good about me right now. Quite the accomplishment, especially at my age. So I'm very proud of that. My son that's incarcerated, he knows the shelter journey that I'm on. So he told me one night, he said, well, Mama, you need to look up Hope for Hearts. So I said, well, what is that? He said, well, he knew that you were part of the healing. That's all he knew, and that's all he was concerned about. So he was like, look up this website. And then once you look it up, I'm going to call you back tomorrow and you tell me what you found out. And I'm like, you're in jail. How do you know? But he said that there were other guys there that had heard about you, and either from someone in their family. So I did. I Googled it, and then I found the web page, and then I reached out. Today I sit here and I know that God kept me for a reason. I have a purpose. So that is one of the main reasons that I'm speaking out today, because I want any and everyone to know that abuse doesn't have to be your life. Abuse doesn't have to determine who you are and who you will be. Your past does not have to dictate your future. I am Victoria, and I have a voice.